how are things going for CD 92.9 right now?
Good, good. Busy, very, very busy. We're just getting ready to do our launch of the Delaware signal in about, what's today, the 22nd? So 9 days?
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, 9 days.
22nd, yeah.
Yep, 9 days.
That's exciting. You guys,
Yes.
you started the Columbus one and then the Delaware one?
Well, I didn't start it. I started as an intern back in 1991. And we were at 101.1 until 2010. And then we went from 101.1 to 102.5.
Yeah.
And then when we moved from 102.5 to 92.9, that's now. That's current.
Yeah. So many changes.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like why the change? Well, I know the FCC, brought that on, but why couldn't you guys reach an agreement?
Well, we just didn't. It's just like anything. We as with anywhere, when you have two parties, you have to have a consensus, and we just didn't come to a consensus.
Okay. Well, I see you guys, seems like you're really persevering and pushing through all these changes, 3 name changes, 3 frequency changes.
Yeah.
And you even got a t-shirt, 3 times the charm. It's kind of poking fun at, it's kind of poking fun at your situation. So how important is a positive mindset, and how do you stay motivated?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's funny when we've tried to be uniquely different, intentionally and unintentionally, all the time we've done this. We're an independent radio station, which is pretty rare in the country as a whole. There's not a lot of them. There's only a smattering of them, especially commercial radio stations. There's a lot of great non-commercial radio stations, but single standalone independent radio stations, especially alternative market, there's not a lot of us. And it's just the passion for the music has been a big motivating factor, and we've had an amazing audience. Columbus is an amazing city. It's a big city. It's number 11 market, but it's like a community. So we've always found a huge amount of support from our audience and from our listeners. So it was funny when we transitioned off the air temporarily, the outpouring of support was incredible. I mean, we had 1 million engagements on social media and things in a matter of days, from Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and emails and phone calls and letters. I mean, people physically writing letters. I never thought I'd write a letter to a radio station, but it just it gives you that energy that you matter, that people care. And it was such that I enjoy doing this. We know some of us work 70, 80, 90, 100-hour weeks in the summertime, but we're not bean counters. We're not sitting in an office, doing something we hate. So just doing something that you love to do doesn't seem like work. And doing something that actually matters. I mean, we're not curing cancer. We're not changing the world, except for the people of Columbus that care about us and that we matter to. That's what motivates it. That's honestly what does it, Ray. It's the ability for us to matter to people and to make people's days and lives better. Truly, we find that people are genuinely happy, that we're here, and that really makes all the difference in the world. It really, really does. It's that positive sort of from the universe that sends it our direction, and we try and capitalize that and use it for ourselves to be able to return it.
Nice. That's very good to hear. So what can we expect from 92.9 moving forward, coming in the new year?
Well, we're going to definitely continue to be that sort of driving force when it comes to the music in Columbus. With the pandemic right now, obviously the live music is suffering badly, and we're trying to help artists. We're doing live streams on our YouTube channel. We just did 4 in the past 5 days. So we're trying to make sure that artists are still getting out and getting their music heard.
How's that going? the live show?
Good, really good.
Yeah.
It's going great. I actually work on doing the producing myself. We keep it to a very bare minimum. Only, 2 people in the station, 1 person doing the engineering, 1 camera operator, and myself. To keep it socially distanced. But we're looking forward to the pandemic ending and getting back to doing the stuff we love to do, being out in the community. We work with dozens and dozens of nonprofits and community groups. It's amazing, but people need to know what's out there. I mean, you guys know, as a TV station, you guys run tons of public service to let the public know all the great things that are happening. I always say that, radio was the original social media. We're free, we're instantaneous, and we're transportable. So we're the ones that can tell you, hey, there's a traffic accident. Hey, here's a great band. Hey, here's a great event that's happening this weekend or tonight.
Is that what sparked your interest initially as a young man to get into radio and eventually be an owner?
Honestly, I always loved music and I listened to the radio growing up, but I just kind of stumbled into it. I was always sort of a self-promoter and sort of marketing person. And when the opportunity arose, it just sort of was like, oh, yeah, I can do this. I always make the joke that was like, so you're going to let me hang out with rock stars and someone's going to pay for my beer? I'm like, cool. And then when I got a job, I'm like, so wait a second, you're going to pay me to hang out with rock stars and someone buys my beer? I'm like, okay, I can do that. The only problem is, 20 something years later, I still get to hang out with rock stars, but now I'm the one that has to buy the beer. So I'm not sure how I got the short end of that deal.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to get better, not worse as you get older.
So we're in 2020. Obviously, a pandemic is here.
Yeah.
You guys have to downsize a bit. Like, how were you able to maintain through?
We actually held on to everybody except for a couple people that, we unfortunately, one of our staff passed away. Our program director, Mace, passed away in June. We had a couple of staffers leave throughout the year that we just didn't replace. But, for the most part, we've not let anybody go, and we've just, try and work hard, work smart, and continue the good stuff we do. During the beginning of the pandemic, we gave away a lot of free advertising to businesses because, honestly, the Columbus is such a great place to see it fundamentally change because there'll be a lack of restaurants or businesses that go out because of the pandemic. We really wanted to try and help not let that happen because, what makes Columbus so great is that, it is a foodie destination. There's all these great restaurants and bars and, all these small businesses that, fundamentally, if they're gone, the landscape will change and it'll look different. So we held on to everybody and found ways for them to do things to, sustain and sort of help keep that going.
So it seems that you understand the definition of perseverance. So what does perseverance mean to you?
Oh, well, I mean, I've said it before. I'm not the kind of person to kind of, curl up into a ball in the corner and rock back and forth going, what am I going to do? What am I going to, you have to keep going. I mean, there aren't, your options are kind of limited. So, I just, you just got to keep going. If the world zigs, you zag. Whatever life throws at you, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's always been that way. I was born in New York. I grew up in New Jersey, and I've always worked. That it's always, you just, no one's really going to hand you anything in life. And I've always believed that, hard work and perseverance is what gets you to where you want to be, no matter who you are. Sometimes more opportunity gets handed to you than others, but, life's hard and you have to work for it. And, no one's going to give it to you. And so you just have to work. You've got to figure it out. You got to keep going. Stopping's not an option.
Right on. Love to hear that. So, lastly, in one word, how would you describe your 2020?
Well, I'll reserve the expletives for another time, but I would say crazy.
Crazy.
One word, crazy.
Crazy. Well, I'm glad.
Unprecedented. I mean, like everybody's crazy, unprecedented. You know, I could get out the thesaurus in the dictionary and just start listing off one words that all describe that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Randy. I appreciate it for me.
Absolutely, Ray. My pleasure.